On the surface, Prop 64 sounds like a really, really good idea, but have people really looked into the details?
As a small business owner that works with small growers, we're not 100% backing this prop.
What is the main advantage and disadvantage of the law?
I would say the main advantage is the fact that it opens the landscape a little bit larger, and that gives people more access, and it just creates this huge opportunity for entrepreneurship and commerce. I would say the negative is we're not taking into consideration small growers and the small farmers and the small businesses and the end user. I mean, let's look at the taxes, 15 to 18%, and that doesn't include how much permitting is going to cost us, and it's going to be county to county. So how do we really scale being a small business?
So your biggest fear is that this budding industry is going to be dominated by corporate interest through this?
Yes, absolutely.
Is there anything to learn from what other states have done?
Colorado has done an excellent job allocating money to the right groups. I think going back to education and green and going back into the roots of the city and the state are really important, and having transparency behind that, whereas California, it just goes into one fund, and there's not a lot of transparency of how those funds are going to be dispersed.
My first instinct is that whatever gets people out of prison is a good thing. You don't want to sacrifice the good for, in hopes for the perfect.
Yeah.
But there's a lot of problems with 64, and I just can't seem to make up my mind in a strong way. I think I'm a mostly no, but we probably should, or it's going to happen anyway. What are we going to do to address it?
If it passes, what's more important is keeping pressure on the system by having an association that is job is to do that.
Accountability and testing for all the poisons that are now allowed to be put into people's medicines is ridiculous. So, but we're also obviously really wanting to support the small businesses and the people who work so hard to get us where we are in the industry. We don't want them to be plowed over by other things.
The wine industry in Italy created a little label called DOC and DOCG, which is the top level quality in wine. But of course, that whole thing got taken over by, big money. But then again, that's Italy.
Right, we could make certified, I'm sure there's still going to be the gourmet, certified connoisseur series. So if you want the big pharma, the big tobacco, it'll be there for you. But if you want the high grade, organic, sun-grown, top shelf, it'll be there for you too. People who have taste will always have taste. So
there's two issues here, really. Do you believe that there should be a legalization of marijuana, number one? And number two, is this particular bill the way to do it?
I'm yes to one and no to two. So long as we can make sure that the small farmers, the people that have been in it for the longest, don't get swallowed up.
Small-time families and folks that have been doing it for generations, passing down, can still operate and not get pushed out with big fees and big permitings that they're going to have to probably apply for.
We're going to start coming under a level of scrutiny that we haven't really been used to. Coming out of the shadows, sometimes it makes you a little nervous to have people come through your front doors. I think everybody's behind it being legal.
Yeah, I think this bill almost seems like, with more talk about legalization, is bringing people out, not just thinking everyone is growing in their house and is a bad, not paying taxes and, want to be a part of society too, I guess, as a small grower.
Some people argue just get it passed to make it legal to get over that hurdle, and now take your Cannabis Growers Association and keep the lobbying pressure to make sure the execution given the bill is a good execution. Is that possible?
You're going to get something, but at the cost of really getting what you want.
The law is so bad that
it's bad. It's not the law that the people that it really affects want. It's hard for people to put together language about something that they have absolutely no idea about. So the people that were crafting these bills aren't in the cannabis industry. Some of them aren't even in agriculture.
And I'm going to ask a stupid question. Why didn't the lawmakers solicit for people who are in the industry?
Because there's a loss of control.
Yeah.
People don't care. They don't smoke. They don't have farms. They're already rich. So they don't care who they're the little people that they're affecting.
A lot of people are saying yes on Prop 64. They have not read the bill.
That's the thing. Read before you vote on something.
Understand that if you do vote for no on Prop 64, you're not voting no for your belief that it should be legal. So what's next?
It's going to pass. We've got till 2018 to restructure, and then at that point it's a real race to get everything that we know to compliant, so big pharma and big industry doesn't come in and swallow us up.
Oh, so the first thing that's going to happen is you're going to incur extra costs.
Oh, yeah.
But hopefully your volume will go up?
Hopefully.
I did get you on that one, right?
There you go, nice.
It's a positive move. However, it's not perfect, and it's going to require a lot of work. It may require more work if it does not pass. Any form of legalization is better than no form of legalization.
And some of the consensus I'm getting is that regardless of what happens, whether or not it's legal or not legal, is that people need to get more involved and need to support with money organizations that support cannabis rights.
Absolutely. I mean, getting out and vote is number one. We're building community here, and the first part of community is showing up. And the second is supporting. And you can support in a lot of different ways.
Yeah, to me, it's an opportunity to, one, is socialize with people who are cool and fun to hang out with and share the love of things that you love. And to two, is to see democracy in action and be involved.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I mean, it's really inspiring to be part of it, to be witness to it. I mean, even just going to a city hall meeting here in Oakland, I had never really been involved in politics before, and being in...
It's fascinating.
Yeah.
It's better than House of Cards.
Yeah, sitting in the Oakland City Hall for 6 hours during one meeting had some entertainment qualities to it.
Were you smoking at the time?
Consumption in other ways, yeah.
That is a good sativa event, or is that an indica event or sativa event?
I think it depends on the person.
At the age of 18, I was victimized by the state of California, slapped with a transportation charge for 4 ounces of cannabis. It ended up throwing me into a population alongside hardened criminals, where I was a honors student trying to get through my high school education when that was interrupted by the victimization of the Ventura County Police. That has, remained with me through my life. The state will continue to persecute people in similar positions to myself.
So you think that the Proposition 64 has not gone far enough to reduce the charges?
Correct. It's not. It's still incarcerating people for cannabis.
Another counter-argument I heard, and the reason why we should pass Prop 64, is that if we made it any more lax in terms of law enforcement, that the population wouldn't go for it.
Well, I think that's a mistaken argument. There's a strong consensus for a need for more robust social justice written into our bills than currently exists, and that if the community had been able to coalesce behind one message of a unified vision of that, we would have had a large consensus in support of that.
This issue of criminals getting prosecuted is one of many, many issues. You think it impacts people so much that really this alone is reason to say no?
Well, I think it undermines the entire purpose of passing a legalization bill if we're locking up in cages the same number of people that we currently are today.
Okay, meaning people that actually spend jail time as opposed to have a minor slap on the wrist.
Yes, and people of color in particular, disproportionately.